Hey guys, Megan with another YouTube video. Today we're actually going to pause looking at one of my own gunships and switch to looking at someone else's gunship. So this is the progress that we have on the Republic Special Operations dropship. This is 16.2. I came in and changed how the engine looks. I'm overall much more happy with this design in general. I was working on this last night. But I got a message from someone on Facebook who I've talked about before, who goes by the name of Dave. I'm not going to be sharing last names for obvious reasons, but he has been working on a really nice dropship that I've seen pictures for before over Facebook, but last night he messaged me and he asked if I actually wanted to take a look at it inside of LDD itself so I could see everything that it has to offer. To which I responded, yes, I would really like that because there was a lot going on with it that I could have a chance to learn from. So he told me that I had permission to go ahead and make a live stream about it, and I didn't want to look at it in a live stream because I think after all of this hard work, it deserves a completely separate video of its own. Because it's a fantastic looking dropship. There are a lot of detail work that goes into this dropship that's pretty impressive. My computer's being a little slow. Sorry guys. He has about another 1,000 or so bricks on me. It's more like 700-ish. But it's overall about the same size as the Liberator, and it has a couple different features on it that come over from a couple of my gunships, which I don't mind. I think overall his aesthetics work is actually really good, and it's kind of displayed really well in this gunship itself. It doesn't have a class name as of yet, just like Republic Special Operations dropship. There's no class name for it. Whenever he finishes it, I will ask him if there's going to be a class name or not, because I'm unsure. So far, in terms of a couple different specifications, it has 40 troops inside the troop bay, so it can sit a total of 40 troops, which is pretty damn near impressive, to be honest. That's a lot of troops. It has a pilot crew of 5 plus 1 gunner, as far as I can see. I don't have a lot of details to go off of. I just kind of have to kind of make up what I know as I go, in essence. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem if it decides to load anytime soon. Like I said, there's a lot of aesthetics improvements as opposed to some of my gunships. Some of my gunships look a little rough around the edges, but this one looks really nice. It's also in a pretty striking color theme, which I think is actually beneficial. I think it's working out pretty good in this model whenever it decides to load. Load faster. It's like right there, but it's still not loading in. There we go. So here it is. It's, like I said, a pretty visually impressive gunship. It looks absolutely fantastic. I believe this is the same size as the ATOT model, so it takes advantage of the larger fuselage with a couple different changes from the newest gunship going forward. So I'm actually going to start with some of the stuff that's sitting out over here. because I think this is worth seeing. Is there a pause button on this recording? And the answer is no. Okay, we're going to make this as fast as possible. I believe the cockpit design that he used borrows some of the aesthetics from the newest gunship, because I believe that this is the exact version of that they used in the newest gunship. I think he modified it slightly into what you see here, and actually replaced the sides here with the little groove pieces, which I actually like because it adds just a little bit of color off to the side and covers up some of the different angles. You might have noticed on the side of the gunship there's this small little detail, and this is actually a really nice detail, and I really like that he was able to include this because it breaks up this section right here, and it adds a little bit of detail that is usually just not found right there. So I could really appreciate that aesthetic design as well. Coming back over here, we have the missile rack, which I think is an overall pretty impressive design for the missile rack, because there's look at these missile designs themselves. They kind of stand their own, and because they're only one stud wide, you can fit a whole bunch of them together in the same space, which, like I said, I find that to be pretty impressive. He used the flick fire missile as a base so that they can fit inside these Technic left arms that you see right here. They're staggered ever so slightly. So in total, there are 13 up top and 13 on bottom for a total of 26, and there's 2 of them on each wing. So there's quite a few different missiles on this model itself, which is a very impressive armament. You can just imagine it coming through and just destroying an army of droids fairly easily. As I said, the amount of troopers in the troop bay is 40, so they come in 10 long racks, and there's 4 on the inside. So if we kind of spin on around here, you can see there's 40 of them in here, which again, pretty impressive. That's a lot of troops for this. Starting from the nose, there was a huge rework on the nose, and aesthetically this thing looks so nice. As you can see, there's like teeth details in here. He uses a lot of this piece, and just kind of look at how this is redesigned, and it looks so nice as a nose design. It's so different, but it looks so good. I especially like this small little detail right here. You have the green with the black, and then you just have this one white stripe on the inside. That's a really impressive detail that just adds to the model overall. It doesn't detract. As you can see, the doors have been redesigned so that they lift upwards, as you can see here, which I think that's fine. That works very well, as opposed to the Technic version of opening the doors. I think that's respectable. Standard ball turrets on front. The cockpit design up here is 4 studs wide for now, and utilizes the cockpit design that we looked at down here. All of this does open up, as it should. So if we kind of come in and pop it up using the other direction that I had before, it's a little laggy because it's such a large model. You can see that there is, in fact, a hyperdrive sitting on the inside of this model, right here, which I think is great. It's a fantastically designed hyperdrive. It just has just the right amount of detail, which I think works out just fine. I like that. See, there's actually 2 windows back here into the bay that the top of the fuselage creates. There's nothing on the inside of here, but all these doors do open, which is pretty nice. This front door has also been redesigned. It also can house troops or any type of other thing that you might want to add in there, say command post or something like that along those lines. As you can see, it opens up the direction that I'm showing you. Oh, LDD almost crashed. That was weird. And like I said before, all this aesthetic work just comes together, as you can see right here, just in really good detail. the way that all this works is fantastically oriented. I really like how he did this. He had a little next to night shields, some of the minifig arm pads. They just work really well. You might have noticed, but there's a couple different turrets just kind of laced around the model in all sorts of different spots for point defense, which I think is pretty fantastic, actually. I think that's a really good idea. This back gunner position uses really big windscreens. Top of the fuselage up here is hollow, as well as back here. This gunner is actually enclosed all the way around, and he has windows on either side so he can see out at what he is shooting at. On the wings themselves, this is where I kind of got the idea for kind of like the Normandy styled engines. When I first saw Dave's design, I really liked them. So again, thank him for that, because this is where I got them from. They're inset into the wings, they're nice and thin, and then in the back they open up just like this. I really like that design. They have these fins on top for stabilization. They have another 2 cockpits here, and the command antennas back here, just for orders. The wings do flip upwards, as you can see, so that you can fit more of these side by side in a hangar. So that can make the difference between 2 or 3 ships in a total hangar bay, so that's nice. The doors, when they're folded in, they have this kind of like extra armor plating right down here, so that if you're taking fire from the ground, it would just kind of work to defend that just a little bit more. Extra storage down on bottom, just in case you need it. Back door does fold down. There's nothing in there. It just leads into the troop bay. And this is overall just such a fantastic large model, and I think a lot of respect can go towards Dave for what he built here and what he has. So thank you guys so much for watching. Dave, if you're watching, go ahead and comment so people know whose channel to subscribe to if you have one, and I'll see you guys later in some other YouTube video some other time.